I did not get much sleep last night, so my eyes look like they got some crazy bags under them, and I'm hoping that I can camouflage most of that with makeup, but I'm just putting on my Lypsyl lip balm. I like to put something on my lips while I'm getting ready, so by the time I'm finished putting all my makeup on, like, my lips will be prepped for whatever lip product that I put on. So like I said, just the original Swedish lip balm, the Lypsyl, is what I put on today. I've been using the majority of these throughout this week. It's about, I think today's Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So these videos take a little bit longer to edit and upload, so I should have had this up earlier in the week, but this is what I've been using throughout the week. So next week I'm hopefully gonna have another one of these videos up. It'll probably go up midweek though. I have already prepped my skin. I put on the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin, what is this called? The Smoothing Primer. I'm gonna be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear again, and I'm in 1C1 Shell 15. I'm gonna be using something that I don't normally use. Now, this is a new product, and I have used it twice now, and I love it. This is the Real Techniques sponge. I actually got this from Oxley, and it came in a little set. It came in a little set like this, and there's a reason why I have two of these, and you'll find out in an upcoming video, but I actually purchased this one. So it comes with the sponge, which I'm using right now, and the little stand, which I think is great because if you're drying these, if you're washing them, you have to have some place to set them to dry. You get this little brush here. You can use this one for face masks or to put on your primer or your face lotion or something. It's actually a really soft, very firm, densely packed brush, but it does have some movement to it. It's a really nice brush. It also comes with the little eye roller thing here. It's actually a stationary ball, but it does feel really cooling to use up underneath the eye area, and I actually use this today in hopes of, you know, getting rid of a little bit of my under eye situation. And then it comes with this orange guy right here. This is like a beauty spatula, so you can get down at the very end of your foundations or your concealers, your face lotion, anything. You can use this little stick. It has two ends. This one's more of a squared off end, and this one's like a rounded curve. Some lip gloss tubes are wide enough for this to fit down into. It's a really nice set, and I think it is a great deal, honestly. So keep your eyes open for this in an upcoming video, if you get my drift. This sponge is what I'm gonna be using today. So you can see it's got a little bit on it from the last time that I used it, but I actually really like it. So I'm gonna put this on really quick, hopefully cover up some of those summer freckles that are starting to show up. Covered up what I could. My hair is insane today. I washed it last night and it dried with this weird wave, so let me clip this back out of the way somewhat. I am tossing this one in, you know, just to hang out in my makeup bag. I'll reach for it some of the days, and just because I have a ton of products that I'm showing you doesn't mean that I'm going to use every single thing that I show you every single day. Sometimes I just reach for, you know, mascara, lip balm, and some liner, and that's all I wear for the day. So this is what the NYX Corrector looks like. I have the shade Fair. I'll put a tiny bit up underneath the eye area just in this region. I'm going to be using my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I have shade NW15 in this. I'm going to dab this on, and then I will go back through and blend it out. You can actually use this concealer as a primer for your eyes, in case you didn't know about that, but you can actually use a lot of concealers for your eyes, but just a little side note there. So I'm going to blend this in before it starts to dry at all. I have issues with my beauty blender only being able to work with my Estee Lauder Double Wear, the foundation that I used today, but man, that is so finicky. I don't know what my issue is and why I don't like the Beauty Blender, but I just have the hardest time getting it to look smooth on the skin. This sponge was such a nice surprise. Now that my concealer is all blended in, I do have this cream highlighter, and this isn't like a normal routine of mine, but this one is from Milk Makeup, and it just says highlighter at the bottom. I'm trying to finish this off this year, so I decided I'll put this down before anything else, kind of layer up my highlighters. So I'll take a little bit on my ring finger and just kind of dab it on the cheekbone area. Take a tiny bit up underneath the brow. So that's what I do with the cream highlighter, and then I'll just take a tiny bit and put it on my collarbone if I'm wearing a tank top. I'm actually not going to be setting my face much today because that foundation, if I don't have lotion mixed in it, actually sets pretty well on its own, and I have dry skin, so it's not entirely necessary. But I am going to be using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Ethereal Light to set underneath my eyes because those unfortunately do need to be set a little bit. Just going to get a little bit on my brush. And I have not perfected the technique of using a sponge to apply powder because I feel like it just cakes it on like crazy. So I'm just using my Real Techniques brush here. This one is their angled highlighter brush, but you know, I use it under the eye area. I'm just kind of like sweeping the excess down over the top part of the cheek. I'm just going to take a little on my chin and down the center of the nose just to set that area. I might be out in the heat today, so, and just right in between the brows a little bit. So for bronzers, I have two products. The first one is my Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer that I did repress. I do have a video on how to do that, but I'll link that down in the description box. And the other one, I've been trying to focus on this one a little bit more than my Tarte one, but they're kind of getting equal use throughout this week. So the NYX Blush in Taupe is what I'm going to be applying today, and I'm using the Real Techniques contour brush. I really like this brush for using it as like a bronzer or trying to contour with it. I don't usually go very heavy with my contour at all. I never really have, but I just kind of like put a little in this region back here and up along the jawline, kind of just around the perimeter of the face, honestly. A little under the chin just to make it look like, a little under the lip to make it look like my lips are bigger. And then I'm just going to kind of go around and buff this in a little bit better. I do have a slightly bigger brush. This is the Real Techniques Multitask brush. I love my Real Techniques brushes. And now the sponge. So you guys probably see these brushes in almost all of my videos. I just really like them. I think they're great quality and they blend products out beautifully. It's just like a bigger brush, but it's not as big as their huge powder brush. I love that one too, but I thought I'd mix it up just a little bit. I need to wash that one. Okay, I'm feeling pretty bronzed for the most part. I'll move on to some blush now. I do have two blushes that I was gonna mix it up a little bit, but I'm just so hooked on this little duo that I'm using here. So I'm using the Benefit Rockateur blush and apply the blush with the brush that it comes with, and I think it applies the perfect amount. So I kind of go all over with this one at first and kind of blend it around, and then I'll go in with my second blush and kind of target that one more so with my MAC 129 blush brush and just kind of target this at the center of my cheek and back. I just broke off a little chunk of my blush. I'm trying to pan my Sephora blush. It is in number 8, Rose Petal, and I'm trying to pan it for the 4th of July, so I need to set... I've had a couple pieces break off, and I just set them off on the side so I can repress them all together. So this is the NYX Blush in Taupe that I used kind of as a bronzer slash contour around the face. Then this one is Rockateur that I put down first. It has more of like a peachy sheen to it. And then this one in the middle is that Sephora blush that I'm just kind of targeting at the center of my cheeks and further back. So like I said, I'm planning to film an update for that project today, depending on how my makeup looks. I'm a little worried because I'm trying out something that I don't normally use, and so I'm a little nervous about how this is gonna turn out. I'm gonna move on with one of my favorite highlight products ever. It's actually quite subtle. This is the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in Highlight 01. That's what it looks like here, and that is what this beautiful little gem looks like on the inside. It's so beautiful. It really has the most beautiful sheen to it, but you can apply it in a subtle manner, but you can also build it up so it looks really lovely on the skin. That's it right there. So taking another Real Techniques brush, this is one of their setting brushes. Yeah. What I like to do for highlighter is I like to apply a little down and then I just kind of sweep over the area. And then this highlighter is natural enough to use down the center of the face as well. I don't go too crazy on the nose because I do have a bump in my nose like I mentioned before. And then once my face products are all on, I like to go in and set it with the MAC Fix Plus so it doesn't really move and it kind of just meshes all the powder products together for the most part. Now that that's on and that has a chance to kind of just mesh with the glycerin in the Fix Plus from MAC, I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. Now I did start with the Anastasia Brow Wiz this morning and then I was like, oh, I'll film a Get Ready With Me because, you know, I have like 2 other videos that I want to film today. So I thought, why the heck not? I'm actually going to try and fix the front just a little bit. I feel like I'm a little off. They're not perfect, they never are. I'm gonna take the other side and just run the spoolie through them to soften up the edges just a touch and to kind of get everything into place. Ooh, I can show you guys how that new brow gel works. I love that stuff so much. So, Anastasia Brow Wiz in medium brown first, and then I always try to take a darker shade and just run it through the tails. And I have a little sample of the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. This one is their Super Easy Brow Filling and Shaping Pencil in shade number 6. I think this is the darkest one. If it's not, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it has more of like a kind of like a wedge shape, an angled shape to it. I just take this through the tail end of my brows. Sometimes I'll run it underneath the bottom part of my brow, but I try to just keep it through the tail. And since I use just a small amount of this every time, this little sample has been hanging on forever. Now, my favorite part. This was sent to me from Octoly and I am in love with it. I never thought that I would really be into like Lancome products, but this is the Lancome Sourcils Styler, I guess is how you say that. S-O-U-R-C-I-L-S. I have shade number 3, which is in Brun. The thing I like most about this is the little spoolie wand part. So it has no bristles on the one side over here. The bristles on this side, right in the middle, are a little bit longer than the rest of them, but they're just so teeny and they get a hold of each individual hair and just add a little bit more definition to it. So you're probably not going to see really well because I'm not super close. They did say that you can run the bristles this way through the hair first if you want more definition and to build up more volume. I don't really need a ton of volume. It would be nice, but I like to just run it through just, you know, the normal way. But if you want a ton of volume, it does work if you go backwards and then forwards. That's, you know, I've tried it a couple times, but I just like having a lighter brown throughout my brows, and then I go in with a darker brow gel just to like coat over the brow hairs, and I think it looks so nice. It looks a little bit more natural. It looks like I have more hair that way. To me, anyways. It's like hairspray for the brows. It really is. I feel like the formula on this one is pretty gosh darn similar to the Anastasia Tinted Brow Gel. I really like that one too. I've used that one for years, but I think I like the wand on this one just a touch better than the Anastasia one. If I'm not paying attention, I can go outside of my, you know, where I would like my eyebrows, and I have to clean up around them, but I don't have to do that nearly as much with this applicator wand than I did with the Anastasia one. So this one definitely gets a thumbs up in my book. Oh, I tried to mess with the brows at the front a little bit. I'm just over it today. Not really going anywhere important. So I am gonna be using this guy. This one is this shadow stick is from Malley. This is their Shadow Stick Extra. I have the shade Champagne. Now, when I tried this out before, I remember it slightly creasing a little bit, so this is what the product looks like here. It's a very light gold color. This will go with what I'm using today, so that is it there. Smudge it out just a little bit so you can see. Hopefully this won't smudge, but I'm just a little worried with my overall eye look today. You'll see in a minute why I'm a little concerned. Take a little bit underneath the eye too, just so it can grab onto whatever I put on the eye. That is what it looks like. I'm going to blend that out with my finger just by dabbing it a little bit. I feel like this product likes to pick up the concealer or whatever you have down underneath it and just get it all over the stick and just smear around your concealer and stuff. I don't know, maybe it's not doing that, but that's the impression that I get. That's what it seems like it's doing. I like this product. I'm not saying it's a bad product, but I have issues getting it to work right. I am also going to include in my nude liner. This is from Rimmel. This is the Scandalized Waterproof Kohl Liner in nude. You can see there, I might toss this one on in a minute, but for right now, I'm just gonna go with this one. This is a Clinique Quick Liner for Eyes Intense in number 9, Intense Ebony. I just use this one at the outer corner of my upper lid, like the tight line area. I had a weird situation happen when I was doing this eye, so I'm just tight lining the outer corner of my upper eyelid. Let's see if I can do this one any better. Much better. I put a little bit on the lower waterline too. All right, I'll take a little bit of the nude liner just right at the inner corner of my waterline. The Urban Decay Naked Palette, I'm going to be using this one for the rest of the week. I have been using this one for the week. I was trying to focus on my feminine palettes for this month, and I still am, but this past week I've been using this one the most, so I'm going to stick with this one, and I'm also, you know, including in this new Clarins palette. Look how beautiful this little quad is. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the packaging on this product. This is a limited edition item from Clarins for the summer. This is the 4-color eyeshadow palette. That's all it says on the back, and I think it's the summer 2017 4-color eyeshadow palette. The whole packaging and the look of this little quad is stunning. So you can see there it does have the 4 shades. I'm going to be using these for my eye look today, and that's why I was a little nervous, because that orange intimidates the heck out of me. I don't know what it is about oranges. I've just never really gravitated towards them. I do have the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and it intimidates me using some of those more like burnt orange rusty kind of colors. So anyway, I'm going to be using this today. I'm going to try and do my whole eye look with just this quad, but I am going to keep my Naked palette in my makeup bag just in case. I'm also including this little single from Wet n Wild that I like to run over the eyelid area and just set my, you know, either the concealer or shadow stick or something. I like to have this one on hand, and I'm also including this little guy. This is the Chanel Illusion d'Ombre in number 97, New Moon. This is really beautiful, and there's no way that I can really catch the sparkly, glittery, beautiful, shimmery particles in this product. It's just so gorgeous. And by the way, they're discontinuing the Chanel Illusion d'Ombres, which is so devastating. They brought out some new cream shadows and some new powder shadows, some new singles, but that is the New Moon from Chanel, and I do believe that they are keeping this one. They're keeping a couple of the Illusion d'Ombres, but they're not going to come out with any more of them like as far as I know. So anyway, that is that beautiful little guy there. I thought it would pair nicely with this little quad for the week, so that's why I included it. So let's get this rolling. Let's see what I can come up with here with this orange. I will say this lighter shade right here is kind of the dud out of the palette. I can't get it to show up on my eyelids. I've tried using it wet, because you can use this palette wet or dry. You get way more color pigmentation from these other three when you use them wet, but if you use this one wet, it just kind of puts a film on the shadow and it just doesn't look right. But I'll try using it just for, you know, get ready with me using the product's sake. So I have this little Sonia Kashuk brush. I'm going to put this at the inner corner of the eye. Oh, the shadow stick is already trying to crease on me. The little shimmery pieces are like bunching up together. Okay. Maybe it just completely matches my skin tone, but you honestly cannot see anything. Maybe you can at like a different angle, but I don't see anything being deposited down on my eye, but it does set my, you know, my shadow stick a little bit. So I'm just gonna put that down throughout the crease probably, just to kind of set that shadow stick so it's not moving around too much. I think once you set those Malley shadow sticks, they don't budge nearly as much. So just going through and setting this. So it does have a little sheen to it, but nothing. I mean, do you see that? You can barely see that. It's kind of the dud shadow out of the quad here. But the other three are beautiful. They're so soft and buttery and they blend like a dream. They are really nice eyeshadows. I honestly did not expect these other three to be as good as they are, especially putting like a light satiny shimmer in the crease area. I didn't think that it would look decent, but it actually looks pretty nice, I feel like. I guess I'm gonna go in with this. This is the Real Techniques base shadow brush. It's just kind of like a fluffy packer, you know, depositing your shadow on your lid kind of brush. If it doesn't work, then I'll go in with the little sponge tip applicator that comes in the palette. So I'm taking this gold one. These two lighter ones, these two, they do get hard pan on them a little bit, but it's a fun little quad. I'm gonna put this on the lid. I don't wear golds very often, but I think it's soft enough that I can get away with it and it doesn't look like on me. You know what, I'm gonna take just a tiny bit of Naked out of the Urban Decay palettes and run that through the crease really quick. This is my MAC 286. I just feel like I might need a little something. So on their little card, they gave me a little instruction manual, a little piece of paper, basically giving me an idea on how to use some of these shadows. And the look that stood out to me was using the gold all over the lid and then the orange kind of blown out throughout the crease and the brown at the outer corner. So that's what I'm going to try and recreate today. I'm going to take my MAC 217, this is my older one, I'm going to dip into that orange and just try it out. Actually, there are the 4 shades swatched out. You honestly cannot even see that lightest one. There's the gold, orange, brown. They look beautiful. Let me see if I can give you some wet swatches of these. When they're wet, they look super metallic, but it's hard to get a swatch out so that you can see it. I'm trying over here though. Okay, so there are the comparison swatches. This side over here is wet, this side is dry. It just kind of depends. This bottom shade, you can't see it either way. I had to scrape off the top layer before I filmed this video because it was just covered in hard pan. The gold one, it kind of has a little bit more of a sheen to it when it is used wet, but used dry, it still has a really pretty sheen to it. The orange one doesn't have near the amount of a sheen when it's used wet. As you can see there, it has more of like a shine to it when it's used dry. Same with the brown one, it has like a shimmery sheen to it. It looks more matte when you use them wet, those darker two. So I'm just gonna start out with a little bit on the brush here And going right into the crease. Like I was saying, I hope this turns out because I do have 2 other videos planned to film today that I would like to film, so I hope it turns out alright and it doesn't look too crazy. I have tried this out a couple times and it looked alright, but you know, I didn't film while wearing it, so I'm not quite sure how it looks. Sometimes when you wear a look and you're filming, it gives a totally different look than if you're just wearing it day to day. Like you can see a different perspective on how it looks, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I think if this was a matte shade, it would look super pretty, but I think it's more versatile being in the shimmer form because you can use it either on the lid or you can do it like I'm using it today. If we're gonna go for it, let's just go for it. Let's go all out and go crazy. I like to run a little bit underneath with my ring finger, and then I'm just going right in the center of my eye. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the gold, go at the inner corner, kind of overlap it a little bit. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the brown and put it on the outer corner of my bottom lash line. Looks a little crazy till I get my liner on too, by the way. So now I'm going to take a little bit of the brown and I'm going to put it at the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to use that little flat shader Sony Kashuk brush to do that. When you do that, it kind of tones down some of the orange. I mean, it's an orange eyeshadow look, so it's going to be pretty gosh darn noticeable, but I'm trying to make it work. Let's put a little bit of the Chanel Illusion d'Ombre just right in the center of the lid. Might as well. I mean, this eye look is going to be crazy anyways. Might as well just add a little bit extra to it, you know? I do have 2 products here. I have my MAC Fluid Line in Black Track, which I should be using. And then I also have my Clinique Pretty Easy Liquid Eyelining Pen, and this one's just in number 1, black. I really like this thing. I think I'm going to use this one today for like my wing, and then I'll use my MAC Fluid Line for like the inner portion of my eyes. I have to say, I love the Kat Von D tattoo liner, but this one, it has the exact same tip on it, but when you go at the inner portion of your eye, you can get so insanely close to your lashes. You can make the finest tipped line right at the inner part of your eye with this pen. I really like this one for that, so I'm gonna try and get that super close. I'm gonna try my luck with these lashes. I really like these. I've worn both pairs in here once. One pair I've worn twice, but the other pair I've only worn once. These are the Andrea 21s. That's what they look like right there. And I just have some Andrea Strip Lash adhesive. So we're gonna try this, see if it works. Maybe it'll even out my eyeliner a little bit, but let's see how this goes. These look really natural and pretty if you can get them on, but sometimes I can't get them on very well. While I'm waiting for the glue to kind of get tacky, I'm going to curl my right eyelash. And here we go. Let's see if we can get these babies on. I kind of got it on. I had a little issue at the inner part of my eye. I can't tell if it's on or if it's just got issues. Let me try and put a little bit more glue at that inner corner and see if I can get it to stick a little bit better. There, I think I got it. I did get a little dab of lash glue at the inner corner of my eye, so I'm just gonna like wait for that to dry for a minute. While I'm waiting for this eye to dry, I'm gonna put on my bottom mascara on this eye. I'm using the Benefit their Real Tinted Lash Primer, and I did have to put a little dab of my Inglot Duraline stuff in here to kind of bring it back to life for a little bit. This is the Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara, and I go right in with this one before the primer has a chance to fully dry. Now, since this has had a chance to dry, the lashes have had a chance to dry, I'm gonna go in with my favorite mascara in the world. They've actually stopped selling this on the Birchbox website and on Sephora, which is kind of alarming. I did send an email to Laura Mercier and they said that they're still selling it and they don't have any plans to discontinue it, but that just makes me a little nervous. This is the Laura Mercier Full Blown Volume Supreme Lash Building Mascara. I get the shade Supreme Black. It's right here. It's in like a square, really deep brown color packaging, and that is what the wand looks like. I mentioned it before, I did have to apply a drop of my Inglot Duraline in this and to revive it because I'm not ready to go and buy another tube of it. It is over $20. I think it's like $24 or $25 for a tube of this mascara. I hope that looks alright. I need to comb it out. I got a little clump right at the inner corner. This week I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Set Makeup Extender. Mine actually says tester on it, but the store that we got it from, they had opened up the wrong bottle to use as the tester, so this was completely sealed when I got it. My husband found it for like $2 something, almost $3, so definitely appreciate that. So I'm going to spray this on really quickly to set everything. And then I have a couple lip options. I've been wearing the one a little bit throughout the week, but let me show you what we got here. So I have this lip liner from Model Co. This is the Illusion lip liner. It's their nude one. It's supposed to be like a universal nude color. I'll give you a little swatch of this. I really wasn't into it when I first got it. I got it from Birchbox. That's it right there. But it doesn't look that bad. So I'm going to apply that on my lips right now. So this is the lip liner on its own. It's a little dark for me, but I don't mind it. So got the nude lip liner, and then what I was wearing over it, this is the Viva Glam 5 Luster lipstick from MAC. Just toss this on over it. What the heck? I think this would probably be the most neutral looking lipstick to pair with it. So, and I think part of the reason why I don't wear this one that much is because it has this sheen running through it as well. Almost looks super frosty on its own, but when you pair it with a deeper lip liner like that, I think it looks more wearable in my opinion. So that is what is on my lips for today. I'm going to be keeping in my makeup bag. Then I also have Angel from MAC. It's just a staple. You know, I'm over halfway finished up with this one, but I'll give you a little swatch. And when I'm not wearing like an orangey shade, this one definitely is more of like an everyday sort of color for me. That is Angel from MAC right there. And then finally, I also have this one. This is the Maybelline Touch of Spice in number 660. I really like these lipsticks. These are from the matte line, but I held off on purchasing this for so long, but I really do like the tone of this. I feel like it brings out my green eyes a lot, and it definitely makes your teeth look super white too. So that is Touch of Spice. It might seem a little deep for this time of year, but I think it looks fine. So those are my lip options for this week. Oh, I forgot. I also have my lip gloss. Let me grab that super quick. I had put that in my purse, so just a second. So I'm actually including 2 glosses this time because I've been using one throughout the week and I'm almost finished. I'm like that close to being finished. So this one is the Too Faced Lip Injection Glossy in the shade Milkshake. This actually came out of a Sephora play bag, and I think it was probably for like February or March, but I love this thing. I've actually taken the stopper out already. I'll link my video on how you can do that. If you can't get any product on your brush, you can just pop out the stopper. It's super easy. I made a video on it. I'll link it down in the description box. Oh, and by the way, they actually showed my video on how to do that on BuzzFeed's Snapchat. I thought that was so cool, but anyway, I don't know how to use Snapchat very well, but I did see that. So I popped the stopper out of this. I'll get a little bit on here and just apply it over the top. I would say this kind of feels like sriracha at first for like the first 10-15 minutes that you have it on, and then you can't feel it at all. I've used this so much recently that I can't even feel it on my lips. It just has like the very slightest little buzz on my lips. Like I can barely feel anything with this, but normally it's quite painful, and I can understand how some people wouldn't want to wear that. I also have the Buxom Full Body Lip Gloss in Dolly. These are pretty opaque on their own. I have worn this throughout the week on its own. That is it swatched on the side right there. Super opaque. It looks really nice over any of the lipsticks. And then I do have two perfumes, which sounds crazy, but this one I'm working on for the Finish 4 by 4th of July project. It's the XOXO Mi Amore perfume. It's almost finished, but if I'm not in the mood for that, then I've been playing with this one. This is a new one that just got sent to me from Givenchy through the Octoly website. This is the Givenchy Live Irresistible Delicious, I think is what it's supposed to be, but it's like French or something, which I don't speak. This is the 3.4 fluid ounce bottle. This is beautiful. It's super sweet though. It's like a sweet gourmand kind of fragrance, and definitely has like a cherry almond sort of fragrance to it, but it's nice. I just can't wear it like 2 or 3 days in a row because it gets super sickly sweet, but I do like it. It's a very nice sweet perfume. My all-time favorite perfume is actually from Givenchy, but this one's pretty good. I've used a little bit out of here this week that I've been, you know, had it in my makeup bag and everything, but that is what I'm gonna be wearing for the rest of this week and what I did wear earlier this week. So let me know if you've tried any of these products, and oh yeah, keep in mind that this will be showing up along with a ton of other products in a hidden giveaway soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that if you're interested. And that's it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.